Kiss, ladies and gentlemen. Stanley. Major Gene Simmons is coming up here, along with Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kiss.
How are ya?
So, the Kiss Monster Canadian Tour starts tomorrow night at Victoria Save-On Foods Memorial Center. All the way to St. John's, Newfoundland it goes. So it's an actual proper Canadian tour. Paul, I gotta ask you,
Yes,
like
sir.
all Canadians like to ask this question.
Yes, sir.
What is it you like about us so much?
Well, you're close to home, that's for sure. You know, we've had great times. We've been coming to Canada. Actually, the very first tour we ever did took us up to Calgary and to Edmonton and areas that some Canadians said to us, "What are you doing here?" We actually have played Moncton, we played Sudbury. We go where the people want music, and Canada has always been very hospitable to us. So I've spent quite a bit of time in Toronto, and we've all been associated with Canada in different ways. Gene, Tommy, what have you done that has anything to do with Canada?
I love Canada. Like Paul said, you're our closest neighbor. We love being up here. The fans are, without sounding cliche, it is some of the biggest Kiss fans in the world, the best Kiss fans in the world.
We don't mean weight-wise.
Yeah, biggest and the best. We mean great, and it's a pleasure to be here. We love touring Canada. Some of our biggest shows in the last decade have been up here. We played to over 100,000 Kiss fans in Ottawa 2 or 3 years ago, last time we were touring, so we're looking forward to a huge tour right now.
And it's really sad about that Calgary show too that had to be canceled.
You know, our sympathy goes to anybody who has to deal with a natural, disaster, because most of the time we're pretty powerless to fight nature. And Calgary is a great example of the resilience of people, and we stand with them. And as soon as we can, we will be going back to try to cheer everybody up a bit.
Yeah. That show can be rescheduled, is that not
It is
correct?
It will be rescheduled, and our hearts, emotions, everything. Human spirit is something that can overcome anything. We've seen that in the past, and you've had a very, very trying week with the events in Abbotsford, and it's amazing what human spirit can do, and Canada is a great example of what a free country can do.
Right on. Well, the Vancouver Kiss Army Depot pop-up store right downstairs, the first one to open in Canada. It opens tomorrow in Edmonton, Toronto to follow. What's the concept behind the pop-up store, and who thought this up?
It actually came about from the fans, and they wanted something that they felt a part of. We've always been about the fans, We're up on that stage doing all the big bang, the glory, and the fame, and all that stuff. The truth is our bosses are the audience. We just work here. So all the great ideas come from them. The t-shirts, the belt, whatever it is that they want, we give them. They wanted it, you got it. You wanted it, you got it. So what we wanted to do was also to put them in charge, not to have our guys come over from America. This is Canadian fans for Canadians. So the people you're going to meet at the Kiss Army Depot pop-up store are all Canadian, 100% pure Canadian content.
And that's beautiful.
And it's really true. We have a great following up here, and the whole idea with these pop-up stores is to kind of circumvent business for once. We give it to the fans and say, run with this, find a store, and it's been quite an adventure. And all hell breaks loose tomorrow.
I think it's a big success already. So this tour across Canada is in support of the 20th studio album Monster, released through Universal Music Canada late last year. When you guys first started out, did you ever think you're going to make it to album number 20?
Well, that's a great question. There was no precedence at that point. Rock and roll was about bands who, if they were lucky, lasted 6 years, 7 years. So the idea of being around for 20, 30, 40 years was unheard of. But rock and roll has become very much like the blues in the sense that you can sing about life and your fans go along with you. So as long as we're singing about things that are relevant to our audience stays with us. So far we seem to be doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, okay.
And we have a new show. So the show that we're doing in Canada is not the show you've seen before. It's a completely new show with a spectacular stage. It was really time for us to do something that was new and different as opposed to building on what we had done before. So it's a completely different stage, a completely different show. And if you miss it, you'll be sorry. I'm going.
We just tweaked it over in Europe. We just got back from a month in Europe. Stadiums and arenas over there. It was huge, sold out shows. The Spider stage is the new stage Paul's referring to. And we gave it a little time testing over there, so it's tweaked and ready to go for Canada now.
They approved, and you're ready.
All right. So, Gene, you and your family seem to have a very special connection to Vancouver. What can you tell us about that?
They're all Canadian. They are Canadian citizens. Shannon's a newfie. Come where you're to, and I'll come where, what is it? Stay where you're at, and I'll come where you're to, Mike.
That's right.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Please, God help me.
There's also a great endeavor called Sophie's Place. Maybe you could elaborate on that just a tiny bit.
Sophie's Place was started by Mayor Watts and Sophie. She's in Surrey, and Sophie's always been committed to helping young people because usually there's only your mom and dad to look up to, and sometimes that's not always a functional family. So Sophie's Place is a place where kids with dysfunction, verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse can go and not be sort of tortured by, you know, the way things are. You go in and grown-ups keep asking you questions, they wear suits and ties, and you feel all sort of put upon. So you can go to Sophie's Place, be among other young people, no pressure, and then the truth comes out. It helps thousands of abused kids every year, and it's a great place. They're looking to open a second Sophie's Place. As a matter of fact, Sophie's backstage, and she's going to go around filming, and her beautiful mom is there too, as a matter of fact.
Oh, awesome.
Good.
Well, a portion of Vancouver Kids Army Depot's profits go to Sophie's Place, the Child Advocacy Center. So let's get up on the stage some people who directly help this great cause out. Surrey Mayor Diane Watts is here. The chair for the board of Child Development Foundation of BC, Tony Miles, Dr. Brian Katz, and of course Sophie Tweed Simmons is here. We have a little check presentation, so come on up, everybody. And you guys are going to get to ask questions real quick, too.
Their mayor looks so small.
We were just kidding about the check.
Ba-doom-boom.
Here we go.
But seriously,
$10,000. Nice.
we always feel that when you're in a position like we are, the idea of charity or philanthropic work is not an option, it's an obligation. So here we are giving a check to Sophie's Place, a charity that we know well and that we believe in 100%, and hope that everybody here and everybody who gets any of this news media coverage does what they can. You know, it's never about giving until it hurts. You give until it feels good.
This is the beginning. This is just a small token. We will see more coming, and maybe Mayor Watts wants to say something to all of you here.
Well, thank you very much. It really is a pleasure. And I know on behalf of the Center for Child Development and Sophie's Place, this is really a great gift because, as Gina said, this has helped so many children. And, you know, I just went over the stats just recently, and children from the age of 2 years old all the way up to 15. And this is just absolutely amazing. And thank you so very much for all the generosity. We appreciate it.
Would somebody like to say a few words? Yes? No? Okay.
Mayor, Sophie's Place.
Well, if Sophie's not going to say a few words about this great cause, we'll take some questions from the floor. So if you wouldn't mind, if you want to step up to the mic and state your media outlet, your name and so on, that'd be great. If you could just shout about nice and loud for the band.
All right.
Hi there, Dana G with the Province newspaper. I just want to know what's the biggest difference between KISS from 40 years ago and KISS now?
We're a little older.
Well, yeah.
Actually, I think we're having more fun now than ever. You know, when we first became successful, we were having a great time. But with time going on, you appreciate it a lot more. And the band has never sounded better and never gotten along better. We socialize, we spend time together, and you know, we're watching not only the first generation of KISS fans, we're on the third and fourth generation. So unlike other bands, we're a tribe. You know, when you go to a rock concert, it's very demographic specific. So you don't want your younger brother there. Heavens forbid you don't want your parents there. But KISS is a whole different thing. It's about this big secret society where everybody is there giving thumbs up to everybody else. So you've got grandparents, you've got 5-year-olds, you've got everything in between. And everybody is sharing an experience which is really worth going to. We celebrate life, we celebrate positivity, and everything that's possible with self-empowerment. So if that's what rock and roll is alive and well.
Next.
Hi, Tom Zillich, Surrey Now newspaper. This is for Gene. Gene, you were at the opening of Sophie's Place. Any
Where
plans?
are you, Tom?
Right here, in the middle.
Oh, the powerful Chinese guy.
Any plans to go back to Surrey this week for to go visit the kids maybe and put a smile on their face?
The answer is yes, but we're not supposed to announce that so it doesn't turn into a media circus, because when the kids see you guys coming with cameras, you know, it becomes about something else. So we intend on going down there unannounced and just, you know, trying to help in the best way we can.
In costume?
If we dress like that, that's a costume.
Any other questions?
Yep.
And you're right.
Hello there.
My daughter is singing tonight at the BC Lions game, both American and Canadian national anthem.
Nice.
At the stadium, so go see her.
Thank you, Val.
Hi, Peter Granger from CTV News. Great to have you guys back in
Thank
town.
you.
When KISS came in the 70s, you guys, it felt like you came fully formed. It was like you hatched. How tempting has it been over the years to change the image, because it is still just as it was?
Well, it's interesting because we did go through a period where perhaps we became a bit complacent and maybe a little bit too sure of who we were and forgot who we were and changed who we were, trying to get press acclaim, critical acclaim, and that's always a death knell. Sometimes you have to get off at the wrong exit to appreciate the road that you're on. So we thankfully got back to being who we are, I'd say in the early 80s, and it's been this way ever since. We appreciate, we love who we are. These 4 iconic images are known worldwide. It's interesting, you can take a picture of the band anywhere in the world, and they may not know everybody's name, but they know it's KISS. We're proud of that, we stand behind the icons.
You make a good point that it's probably time for Santa Claus and Superman to change their outfits. Don't get into marketing.
Okay, we've located Sophie. Sophie Tweed Simmons, would you like to come out and say a few words, please?
Look how beautiful my daughter is.
And behind you.
Come on, Sophie. Come on in here. Sophie said something.
Thank you all for coming out, especially for this event. KISS has so graciously let me put a Sophie's Place tent outside of their event, and some of the proceeds are going to my charity, and that means so much to me and Mayor Diane Watts. We've worked so hard to get this charity off the ground, so thank you.
Sophie is the proof of how great young people can turn out and how much they can give back, because that's what the future is all about, the generation that, you know, comes after us, and Sophie is the queen of that.
And my dad has really graciously given tickets to the staff of Sophie's Place, who have worked so hard all year round to get this charity going, and it's mostly volunteer. So thank you so much for that.
And I'd like to add that Shannon Tweed gave birth to our beautiful daughter, so that's it.
Let's get a shot of the check.
This way first, and then get it out of the way. Thank you so much.
Hey Sophie, how did it start for you, Sophie's Place? What kicked it off for you?
The mayor of Surrey, Diane Watts, came and approached me about a center she'd been working on for children who had been mentally, physically, and sexually abused. But she needed someone who was a kid to be the patron of the center so that we could more relate to our target audience. So I was 18 at the time. We got together, we had one meeting about it. I absolutely loved it. I've been working with children my whole life, and it seemed like the right thing for me to do, especially being kind of a BC native, thanks to my mom. So we have a center started. We hope to open more across Canada, but we're working on getting this one absolutely perfect before we move on.
All right.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Darren from metalrules.com, and I've been a fan that really enjoyed listening to your new studio albums, and I've been thrilled to hear the last two after waiting so long, and I'm wondering, can we expect any more music in the future from you guys?
Next week.
Next week. Monster Rules, I gotta say. It's fantastic.
Thank you. Let's appreciate that one and let it breathe before we start thinking about hatching something else. But it's a clear indication of where the band is at this point in our history and in our lives. Sonic Boom was a great step forward, and Monster really reclaims everything that we are, and we're very proud of it.
Thank you.
Hi. Hello. I'm short. I'm Michaela from Backstage Writer. Paul, we talked about in the past that we want Kiss to live forever. I think we all want Kiss to live forever. Can you ever imagine a time when we might have different personnel in Kiss?
Totally.
Good Kiss, yeah?
Totally, because you have to remember that...
We already do have new personalities, actually.
Well, without the original founders in 2150.
I think I am really great at what I do, but I don't think that there isn't somebody else who can do what I do at least as well and add something new to the band. There was a time where everybody said, oh, it's got to be the 4 original members. Well, those people are 50% wrong now, and that will play out over time. I will be proud to be replaced at some point, because it only means that KISS is everything that I hoped it would be. I'd like to sit in the audience and see the greatest band without me in it, but not anytime soon.
And Gina, I have one quick question. I've been told my whole life that I have a Gene Simmons tongue. So can we get a picture later just to either prove or disprove this?
Let's see what you got.
So disproved.
Keep practicing. I would stick mine out, but the floor's a little dirty.
I've heard that before.
Every day.
I'm here every day.
Any other questions?
Sure. Darryl Andrews, Today Media Group. Just want to first of all say thanks for a great 40 years. I'm a longtime fan. I want to give a personal shout out to Tommy and Eric, that you guys coming with the band have been a resurgence, I think, and I'm really pleased as a long-term fan. You guys need all the props in the world.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Rock and Brews, Vancouver. We love KISS. When are we going to see Rock and Brews?
Well, we've been talking with the wonderful people at Great Canadian Gaming for quite a while, and the powerful and attractive Howard Blank was becoming a reality show star because he's filming all day today. Well, there have been discussions ongoing. Anything is possible, but anything worth doing is worth doing well. That's a nice way of saying it will come when the time is right.
We have been offered more opportunities to open Rock and Brews than one could imagine, but we really want to make each Rock and Brew individual, like a single diamond. This isn't a franchise where we're cookie cutting and making something that's the same city to city, country to country. So when we finally do open a Rock and Brews in Canada, in Vancouver, it will be yours and yours alone. We're going into areas and trying to be a good neighbor. We bring in local produce, we bring in local people to work. This isn't about coming in and putting these 8-inch heels stomping on what's come before us. So Rock and Brews will be here, but when it's here, it'll be absolutely perfect and everything that you're worthy of having. How do you like that?
Any more questions from the floor? Go ahead.
Quick question. The Hello Kitty thing, is that something that came and morphed on its own? Did you guys catch on to that? How do you feel about that whole character being born from your character?
We're very fortunate because there's so many opportunities at this point for co-branding, and we're proud of it. When people may snicker and say that's not rock and roll, it's because they're jealous. We're one of the few bands, if not the only band, who can co-brand with really top-flight companies, whether it's Hello Kitty, we're also doing Family Guy at this point, and there'll be more to come. So we see it as a way to spread KISS worldwide. You know, as far as we're concerned, there may be many countries, but it's one world, and we want to dominate it all.
Right on. Okay, any more? Is that it? Okay, well, let's have one more welcome to Vancouver from you people for the immortal KISS. There's been autographs a little later in the pop-up store downstairs. There's a guy who's been waiting since yesterday afternoon at 5 o'clock. And KISS Monster, now available on iTunes. Thank you all so much. It is a great album. Thank you all so much for coming. Thanks for KISS.